Hello and welcome back to DCS How to Fly, the series where I teach you the basics of certain aircraft in DCS 1.5. In this week's episode, we're going to look at the basics of flight in the F15-C Eagle. In this video, I will cover the startup, taxiing, takeoff and landing procedures, and some basic principles of flight in the aircraft. Before we start, here are some key lines to set up or know for today. Left and right engine start, left and right engine stop, landing flaps, flaps up, landing gear toggle, canopy open/close, electricity, comms menu, air brake, wheel brakes, eject. With those out of the way, let's get started. Starting the F15 is very simple. It follows a nearly identical procedure to the A10A. First, turn on your electricity. Then, turn on your instrument lights, L, navigation lights, right control and L, proximity warning lights, right alt, right control and L, and L, and optionally your nose wheel lights with right alt and L. Then start your left engine. Once it reaches 12% RPM, start your right engine. Once both engines are spinning at 6-7% RPM, close the canopy, throttle up and begin taxiing. When taxiing in the F15, be mindful of your turning circle. Ensure you leave yourself plenty of space to turn, especially at higher speeds in the event of a scramble. Other than that, taxiing the F15 is simple, but the suspension is similar to the A10A, so limit your speed when taxiing to prevent the wings from dipping. Once on the runway, wait for ATC to grant you permission to take off. Lower your flaps to the landing position, hold in your brakes, throttle all the way up, and when the afterburner kicks in, let go of the brakes and pull back on your stick. Unloaded, the aircraft should lift off at 150 knots, and with the afterburner on, your speed should increase to takeoff speed within 4 to 5 seconds. Once up in the air, maintain a climb rate of 10 to 15 degrees and raise the flaps and gear. You can also turn off your proximity warning lights if you're not flying with any other aircraft. Now we're in the air, here's a couple of things to note. The F15 has a very good roll rate, and the higher the speed, the faster you can roll. However, the turn performance at speeds below 400 knots is subpar, and you will find yourself in a dangerous position if the speed drops below the magic number in a tight turn. Finally, the afterburner, the very thing that makes this jet supersonic. At sea level, it will allow your F15, unloaded and clean, to reach 750 plus knots. But that isn't the quote-unquote maximum speed of the F15. At 40,000 feet, you can reach Mach 2. Your indicated airspeed will not be as high as it is at sea level, but you are technically going faster. Somehow. Bringing the F15 back down to Earth is nearly as easy as it is getting off the ground. To start with, begin a shallow, negative 10-degree descent and contact ATC to tell them that you're inbound. When they acknowledge you, extend your air brake and begin turning towards the runway. Once ATC have confirmed visual, request a landing, lower your gear and flaps and keep your airspeed to around 200 to 250 knots. On your final approach, let your airspeed drop to around 160 and flare up as your airspeed dips below 150. Once your wheels are on the ground, keep your nose up no more than 15 degrees to prevent the tail from dragging along the ground until your airspeed is below 90 knots. This is called aero braking. Begin using your wheel brakes to slow the aircraft once your speed is below 90 knots, raise your flaps and retract the air brake. Taxi to the parking area, turn off your lights, engines, electricity and open the canopy. Lastly, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if it helped out in any way, why not drop a like or sub? And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra.